Yeah, it's too dark for me. It's warm in here today. It's usually not warm. There's another theater we used to go to. It's in Riverside. We haven't been there for a long time. I don't know if they still have it. Theater in the Bound. That's where we used to have it. No, we went there with the Sherlock. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Sherlock Carol. At this time, we request you turn off or silence your cell phones. No photos or video recordings allowed during the performance. Please unwrap those pesky hard candies now to avoid disturbing others. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Sherlock Holmes.
Moriarty is dead to begin with. Moriarty is dead. I say it again, emphatically so.
Moriarty was dead to begin with. It's true.
Without question.
Dead as a doornail.
3 years ago,
Professor Moriarty had plunged to his death over the Reichenbach Falls.
locked in battle with his mortal enemy.
One Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
The world's foremost consulting detective.
That's who he is, you know.
Or at least who he was.
Holmes had survived the fall of Reichenbach.
And now he was back. Back in London, back at Baker Street, back at home.
Which is no home at all, if you want to know.
Everything had changed. For one thing,
Moriarty was dead to begin with. How could it be otherwise?
to Holmes, Professor James Moriarty had
The
been
greatest schemer of all time. The organizer of every devilry. The controlling brain of the underworld. The Napoleon of crime. I should have died of Reichenbach too. That would have been fitting.
for without his nemesis.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Now, usually a Sherlock Holmes story is recounted from the journals of Dr. John H. Watson, M.D.
I have called upon my friend Sherlock Holmes at our old lodgings on Baker Street on the morning of Christmas Eve. He had been in fog since his return to London.
But this is not to be that kind of story.
Out upon a Merry Christmas.
But Holmes, I regard it as a sacred occasion.
There's no greater fool than one who shouts Happy Christmas in a city throughout which the foulest of mankind lurks around every corner. I'd do anything to avoid it memory.
Well, then, come to my house for a party.
Anything but that. I'll thank you to leave me alone, Watson.
Mrs. Watson is preparing a turkey, and we shall toast the season with the finest bottle of Christmas spirits.
Spirits?
Yes, a host of spirits.
I have no use for spirits of any kind, Christmas or otherwise. Watson, I understand you wish to return to gallivanting about London solving meaningless crimes, but those days are in the past.
But Inspector Lestrade has a pile of unsolved cases on his desk.
But Moriarty is dead.
To begin with, yes, but there are other criminals. Perhaps a good old-fashioned murderer would do the trick, eh? Or a blackmailer. Yes, or a blackmailer would do wonders.
Don't be a fool. Without a worthy adversary, I am nothing. The professor may as well have dragged me down with him. I am not the Sherlock Holmes do you wish me to be?
I am sorry to find you so resolute, but I admit I am gravely disappointed. I believed in our partnership. I believed in Holmes and Watson.
For what is Watson without Holmes?
And what is Holmes without Watson?
I said, good afternoon.
Merry Christmas, Holmes.
Bah!
Now the end of Holmes and Watson is as good a place as any to begin our tale. So let us repeat emphatically that
Moriarty was...
Then to begin with, yes, we know.
This must be distinctly understood. And nothing wonderful can come from the tale we shall relate to you tonight.
Once upon a time, of all the days of the year, the very day of Christmas Eve,
A cold, bleak, and biting day, where fog poured in at every keyhole, and the city clocks shattered as they struck 1 o'clock.
a spirited wind swept down the Thames,
Through the thoroughfares of old London.
past the halls of Scotland Yard and the Lord Mayor's house,
Past Mrs. Hutchins' lodgings at 221B Baker Street.
following Sherlock Holmes to the doorstep of his usual melancholy tavern, where he sat taking his usual melancholy meal, alone,
but quite alone, alone for all the world to see.
hard and sharp as flint, as Holmes.
Self-contained and solitary as an oyster. For you see, the great detective was haunted.
I do not believe in ghosts.
And so begins our tale.
A tale of Sherlock Holmes.
A tale of Christmas.
A tale which happened once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time on Christmas Eve.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the dusty...
Off with you! You sound like a bag of drowning rats.
Penny a song, sir. Everyone loves a Christmas carol.
I do not. Off with you!
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes! It is you! I thought it was. You're back.
What?
Don't you recognize me? Emma Wiggins, from your Baker Street Irregulars.
Wiggins?
Oh, I need your help, sir. Father's been arrested. Police say he's a thief. You've got to help me, sir.
If your father has committed an offense, he must answer for his crimes and pay the penalty in full.
But he didn't do it. Oh, won't you help? After all, you're Sherlock.
Who's there?
Mr. Holmes?
Did you not hear that?
You've got to help me, sir, please.
Leave me be, Wiggins.
But Mr. Holmes,
I said, leave me be.
I thought we can always count on you, sir. I guess I was wrong.
Bah!
If I'm not very much mistaken, you are Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
You are
What?
mistaken.
No, I'm quite sure you're him. Your landlady, Mrs. Hutton, said I might find you here.
I'll have a word with her.
Mr. Holmes, I know tonight is Christmas Eve, and I wouldn't dream of disturbing you.
And yes, you are.
Ha! Bit shorter than I would have imagined from Dr. Watson's stories in Strand magazine. Those accounts are what made me think you're the only person what can help me.
I deplore Watson's narratives, testaments to inaccuracy. I bear no resemblance to the character in the Strand magazine. Watson paints me as an eccentric, electropic antics in a deerstalker hat with a fiddle, prancing about London with a constant pipe between my teeth. I wouldn't wear a deerstalker if my life depended on it. Now,
Here, take my scarf. You're hardly dressed for the weather, sir. You're shivering.
how much do you want for the scarf?
Consider it a gift. Merry Christmas.
Bah! What cause have I to be merry?
Well, what cause have you to be dismal? You've only just returned to London, as I understand it. I heard
That I was dead.
something to that effect. But now you're here.
So, you believe in ghosts?
Perhaps I have reason to. There has been a murder. You see.
I'm very sorry, but I cannot help.
But if only you knew.
On the contrary, I do know. I know everything about you and have since the moment I saw you.
Ah, yes. Your powers of observation. My favorite part of Dr. Watson's stories. Would you?
Very well. You grew up in Camden Town, as is obvious from the remains of those distinct vows you have worked so hard to dispel. You do a fine job of concealing it, but the traces are still there. You sponsored a fine school, though you started late in childhood, probably by the time a severe medical condition was treated, a kidney disease, I wager. Your limbs were malformed as a child, perhaps until about the age of 7 or 8 from the looks of your cover. You, or rather your family, endured a reversal of fortune and received assistance to treat your illness before it proved fatal, which no doubt would have been within a year. It is not in me to surmise that a benefactor of some sort must have executed this miracle, given your family's humble circumstances and the late treatment of your condition. And it was this benefactor who sent you to the school where your masters attempted to eradicate the elongated R's and E's in your speech. The school had a great impact on you, for you work with children even today, as evidenced by the chalk on your sleeve and a little illustrated book for the neatly engraved pocket. It even has your name on it. Oh, may I call you Timothy? Your last name is folded on the other side, Doctor. Oh, yes, you're a doctor, as evidenced by the stethoscope concealed beneath your collar. And lastly, the murder of which you speak of, it was your benefactor who died, was it not?
Astounding! Your talents are remarkable.
It's an affliction, not a talent.
And how did you know it was my benefactor who died?
You winced at the mention of the word, and now I wish you good day, Doctor.
Cratchit, sir. Dr. Timothy Cratchit. But the children down at the hospital call me by my childhood nickname, Tiny Tim. You may too, if it pleases you.
It does not.
I dare say, you remind me of my benefactor as he was once upon a time.
Are we finished?
My benefactor was found dead at his home this morning, Mr. Holmes. He must have died sometime last night, locked in his room. It has been quite a blow. Hard to believe he and I shall never speak again.
How I envy him.
Perhaps you've heard of my benefactor. He was a great man, a man whose stories are as heartening to me as Christmas itself. His name, Mr. Holmes, was
Ebenezer Scrooge.
At one time, he was a hard-hearted man, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner was Scrooge. And bah! Humbug! But then, one night, at Christmas night, he was transformed. He woke upon a Christmas morning with the spirits of a new man.
You there, young boy! What day is this?
After that, he became like a second father to me. Became as good a friend, as good a person as the city ever knew.
Merry Christmas!
It's quite a story, actually.
Fascinating. Are we done?
I called upon him 3 days ago on the occasion of his birthday. He's been confined to a wheelchair as of late, and his sight is dimmed. But we had a happy visit. The old fellow told me he was soon to receive a valuable gift, rather a famous diamond, he said, called the Blue Carbuncle.
I've heard of it.
A present from an old friend, though he would not say who, in gratitude for the many good deeds Scrooge had done. Of course, he decided to give it away and told me he planned to change his will. But as yet, no new will has turned up. And then, he showed me a letter he received.
Your ghosts have returned. This will be your last Christmas. These words were cut from the agony column of the Times. A left-handed person trying to appear right-handed, as you can tell from the angle of the plate.
And the word will is in larger letters than the others. Of course, Mr. Scrooge laughed it off.
Tell me, Dr. Cratchit, did you suspect he had chosen you as the beneficiary of this new will?
Over the years, Mrs. Scrooge has been quite generous to the children of St. Bernard's Hospital and made sure that no boy or girl would suffer as I once did.
Regarding his death, were there any signs of foul play?
No, but the note, the missing will, if he is meant to end them favorably, I must know.
Yes. Mind you, old age can be the most cunning of murderers. Ask Scotland Yard for assistance. The straw is the best of the plan, what? If something has happened, who will take care of it?
I've spoken to the police. They wouldn't entertain my suspicions after I discovered the body. The police said only they've sent someone round to fetch the remains.
Same came to me. I'm very sorry, Dr. Cratchit, but at this time I'm not able to. I'm not able to.
Mr. Holmes?
What do you want with me? You thief!
Oh, forgive me, madam.
Christmas to you. Hey, then!
Mr. Holmes, are you all right?
Very sorry, Dr. Cratchit. Very sorry indeed.
Mr. Holmes! Mr. Holmes! Please, Mr. Holmes! Sometimes a man can tell a doctor things he wouldn't tell another soul.
Moriarty died at Reichenbach. I know without a doubt that he is dead. And yet, I see him everywhere.
See him?
On a street corner, when I least expected, there he is! Tuesday last, walking along the Strand, there, a figure in black, the familiar gait. I catch up to him, only to find a baker on his way to dinner. I pass a shop on Edgware Road, and there, his face in the window. A closer look, and it is only a butcher at work in his shop carving a Christmas roast. But Moriarty is there, constantly hiding in the shadows. But of course, it isn't him. It is my obsession. I know this. How can any spirit walk this earth? How can I live with this cursed memory?
Mr. Holmes, you are a haunted man.
Perhaps Moriarty has beaten me after all.
You are more like Scrooge than you know. He too experienced a haunting, but he let it change him for the better. I won't rest until I know the truth about his death. Will you help me? Well then, Merry Christmas, sir.
Doctor, do you believe in ghosts?
As a man of science, I am bound by reason.
Exactly. A ghost may be a symptom of indigestion, an undigested bit of beef. Why, there's more gravy.
But I believe we are far more than the fragile bodies given at birth. There are spirits all around us, Mr. Holmes, guiding our way.
Then tell me, as a medical man, what do you believe happened to your Scrooge? How can a man transform so?
It's a mystery, Mr. Holmes.
Doctor, take your case.
Do you mean?
Yes, the game is afoot.
Foggier now and colder still. That spirited wind we mentioned earlier, it follows Holmes and Cratchit down the winding streets all the way to Scrooge's home, nipping at their heels. A piercing, searching, biting cold. A dismal, sickly London fog so thick, Holmes can hardly make out the path. See it now, the home of Ebenezer Scrooge.
Quite a gloomy place.
I'll leave you across the street, Mr. Holmes. I don't wish to go in there and see the old man lying in his sleep. You understand, I'm sure.
Now it is a fact that there is nothing at all particular about the door knocker of old Scrooge's home. Holmes had seen hundreds like him on the streets of London. But how then to explain?
What's in places?
Mercy! You scared the tar out of me, you did. And just doing you sneaky old age creeper.
The name is Holmes, Sherlock Holmes.
The detective? I thought you were dead.
Not quite. Dr. Cratchit sent me. You're the housekeeper.
Mildred Dilber, loyal to Mr. Scrooge for 35 years or more. And now, did you hear? Oh, it's too horrible for words. It's Mr. Scrooge, you see.
Dead. Yes, I know.
Oh, yes, just inside. Isn't it terrible? Oh, the poor old flat doodler. Everyone loved him so. Almost as much as they used to hate him. We should not see his life again.
May I come in?
Right this way. You can join the other fellow.
The other fellow.
Mrs. Dilber, this cake is quite delicious. Just one question.
Hello, Lestrade.
Well, well, well. are true. Mr. Sherlock Holmes is back. And where's Dr. Watson? Off writing one of his stories, hoping to make the police look like buffoons.
I'm no longer working with Dr. Watson.
Ah, you don't say. You know, I heard you were dead.
I've heard that too.
Not feeling well? Would you like some of me cake, Mr. Rose? I always bake when I'm upset.
If the taste resembles that pungent odor which permeates these halls, no thank you.
But it's my famous chocolate operetta.
Mrs. Dilber, I do not come to partake in stale cake. I am here because a man may have been murdered.
Murdered? Dash my wit, it's true.
Don't mind him, Mrs. Dilber. Thinks he's better than everyone. Why are you really here?
A courtesy call.
Scotland Yard's been doing quite well on my own. On our own. Without you, you know.
I've just spoken to Dr. Cratchit, who believes the dead man may have met a premeditated aid.
Pish! He died of old age. He was ancient as a fossil.
And yet something bothers you.
Cratchit said there was a note.
And a missing grid. Yes, I know.
Ah, always one step ahead, aren't you?
Where is the body?
In the study. But I've already seen everything in there.
Oh, you see, or you do not observe.
Oh, no. Don't disturb the body. I tell you, he's not crossed over yet. Mr. Scrooge's spirit lingers still. He's with us even now.
His spirit.
Oh, yes, Mr. Rand, don't you believe? There's spirits everywhere, keeping watch. You best be careful.
The rooms of Scrooge's home are spare and cheerless, with many items missing. But in the years since his transformation, old Scrooge...
Never spent a penny on himself.
The hallways are long and dark, but the study is different. It's cheerful, adorned with flourishes of Christmas decor. Were it not for the sadness of the occasion, it would be the perfect setting for a Yuletide party.
This is where Old Scratch did most of his living.
In most of his dying.
And there, tucked comfortably into his wheelchair, sits the body of one.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
A thin smile traced faintly upon his lips. His head is angled towards the wall, upon which hangs the gentle portrait of a young woman wearing a bonnet. A name is written on the frame.
Van.
On the opposite wall, a bookcase filled with adventure stories.
Don Quixote. Robinson Crusoe. David Copperfield.
And there, a daybed,
Undisturbed.
upon which sits a plump pillow bearing a monogram, a fancifully curled letter.
S.
In his hand, a copy of the London Times.
December 22nd edition.
Open to page 3. On the writing table, several Christmas cards neatly stacked.
I've already looked through those.
And an advert for a Christmas Eve performance at the concert hall of the Cosmopolitan Hotel. A program of Christmas carols to be performed by...
The Countess of Morcar. Of course.
O'Shea.
Hold this.
Though the room is molded down, the walls and tables of the study are lined with pewter candlesticks, each one burned entirely to its base, reminding one that in this room a great light once burned brightly, but now had been extinguished.
He's dead, all right.
Rather sharp bit of detective work on your part, Inspector.
What do you make of it all?
The floor is disturbed. Here.
Beg your pardon?
I don't see anything.
No, you don't.
Was it my doing?
But you're the housekeeper.
Retired last year, but I'll still keep busy. Volunteer down at Dr. Cratchit's hospital Tuesdays. Work the soup kitchen for the Temperance Society Wednesdays.
Yes, but what were you doing here this morning?
I'm loyal to me old boss. Still come in now and again to help with the linens and cooking and provide a bit of company. I don't like the thought of him being alone at his age and this being Christmas Eve and all. I come by with to bake a cake.
Delicious, too. Chocolate almond. My favorite
Thank
apple.
you, Lestrade. You came here this morning, Mr. Dilber.
9 o'clock, shortly before Dr. Cratchit. We figured old Scratch been sleeping late in the study. I found a spare key, we opened the door, and there's the old flubber in his chair dead.
As a doornail. No weapons or marks on the body.
The door was locked. There's no key on Scrooge.
No sign of a struggle either. The only thing that bothers me is the note in the missing will.
Perhaps we should hold a seance, contact him on the other side. I'm well acquainted with summoning spirits. I'm a conduit.
I think Scotland Yard can handle this without a seance. Thank you very much. We'll take the body to the morgue and let you know if anything turns up.
Ah! Quick, Lestrade, I'm back!
This way! Lestrade! What a minute!
Where are you?
Over here, in the alley!
Mr. Holmes?
Oh, Dr. Cratchit!
He's dead.
Goodness sakes, Inspector, he's not dead!
No. Right.
Good job. I'm not, though.
Can you stand? What happened?
I was across the street and I saw a tallest man wearing his hat, carrying a white goose slung over his shoulder. Then a smaller fellow came from the alley and a row broke out.
The smaller one attacked the one in the hat, and you rushed forward to help, correct?
Yes, I raised my cane and swung it over my head.
Smashing the window behind you in the process,
They must have thought I was brandishing a weapon of some sort.
and seeing Lestrade's wagon from Scotland Yard, they both took to the heels and vanished,
The small bloke got his weapon first,
leaving you with the battered hat and most unimpeachable Christmas goose.
which surely must be returned to its rightful owner.
We haven't a clue to his identity.
We have his hat,
Lots of men have hats like that.
but only a few bear the initials HB on them. Doctor, have you quite recovered?
Yes, thank you.
And where will you take your Christmas Eve supper?
At St. Bernard's Hospital, my sister Martha always cooks a holiday meal for the children.
Can Miss Cratchit cook a goose?
She can.
Then take it to her.
But what's with the fellow who lost it?
Unless we find HB within a matter of hours, which is highly doubtful, the bird will go to waste.
This attack happened outside Mrs. Scrooge's house. Do you think the event is connected to his death?
Go to your hospital, doctor. I shall handle this affair on my own. Do you understand?
I do, sir.
Be honest with me, Holmes. Is there a murderer on the loose?
Lestrade, there's always a murderer on the loose.
Where are you off to now?
Me, I'm going to investigate a Christmas Carol.
Is everyone having fun tonight? Oh, you're a lovely audience.
Caroling among the trees so green, here we have the wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you good Christmas too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love came to me. 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping time. Birds a ringing 9, ladies dancing 3, maids a milking 7, swans a swimming 6, geese a laying 5.
One moment,
Are you all right, Mom? There were 2 songs left, I believe.
Oh, yes, I'm fine. I thought I saw an old friend in the audience.
Excuse me, sir. You can't come back yet. This is a private dressing room.
It's all right, Mr. Topper. Let him in. This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
The famous detective.
I thought he was dead.
So did I.
Excuse me, Countess. I didn't realize he was your guest.
It's all right, Mr. Topper. Civilians aren't normally allowed backstage, but Mr. Holmes is a special case. Would you make some room alone, please?
As you wish, Mom.
I'll be right outside if you need me. Right. Side.
Huh. So you're alive then? I didn't believe the rumors, of course, though I imagine it's quite a story. Take it Moriarty is dead?
To begin with,
You look like a ghost yourself. Are you ill?
I've been better.
I see.
And what of you?
Well, Sherlock, you know me. I always manage to land on my feet.
You've married. Again.
Yes, well, you can't expect me to wait around for my true love to come to his senses and propose.
Count, this time, rather step down from the king of Bohemia.
Yes, the late Count of Morcar was a very kind and generous man. I truly adored him. I did. Gave me my title, bless him, and a great deal of money. Lends my act a little respectability, you know?
The title suits you. Otherwise, you'd still simply be known as Irene Adler of Trenton, New Jersey.
Yes, well, Irene Adler doesn't have quite as polished a reputation as the Countess of Morcar.
Oh, but I'm told she can hit some remarkably high notes.
You ought to know. Oh, it is good to see you, my sweet. In fact, I could use your help.
The blue carpet.
How did you know?
That is missing. I saw a picture of you on stage in Vienna last year. It was in the setting of that very necklace. The jewel you wear now is quite lovely, of course.
And real?
But it isn't the blue carpet. You intended it as a gift for Ebenezer Scrooge, but it has since been stolen.
Yes, Ebenezer will be terribly disappointed when he finds out.
No, he won't. My condolences.
Oh, no. Dear Ebenezer,
Were you close to Mr. Scrooge?
I was.
Part of your checkered past?
Yes, I was quite young. I fell in with the wrong crowd, you might say. I owed a great deal of money and my life was threatened. I had been introduced to Mr. Scrooge, and one night he caught me in the act of stealing some money. His money.
My dear Miss Adler,
I was ashamed.
you should have come to me.
I didn't have anywhere else to turn. I had no choice.
We always have a choice.
He didn't call the police.